please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Bass in your face. Bass in your face.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or are watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it's called Uncommon Sense because here on this platform, we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions. But not everyone uses logic. So for that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. And we have some activity in the chat. Okay, let's go. Okay. Good evening. Yes, daughter, you are the first one here. Good evening, Kishal. Thank you very much for stopping by. Okay. Oh, yes, I can just imagine. Okay. Speaking about the little guy, how is my cyber grandson? I hope he's doing well. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he's like a munchkin sized MK. So, okay, I'm sorry. First of all, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who already subscribed to the channel. Whether you've been a member since the very beginning or you just recently joined, I really appreciate all the love and all the support all of you have given me. I want to give a huge shout out to those who follow me on social media, especially when it comes to Instagram and TikTok. Your warmth, your warm support is really appreciated. And I see here we have another comment. Oh my goodness, I can just see him now. He's gonna be an active little boy. Okay. I know. Look, before the year is out, I gotta visit you, Denise. And see that little tyke, if you will welcome me. Okay. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices. And a huge shout out to all those who watch from the clouds, even the haters, okay? Because even the haters, and there are secret fans. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, if you have not done so, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and set the bell notification to all. So therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. Now, tonight, I'm going to be doing something a little different. Okay. As you can see, the title and the thumbnail in my words. Now, generally, what I would do is I'll do a short video where I'll sort of express a couple of things that's on my mind. Tonight, I'm just going to do the whole stream regarding what's something that's on my mind. So there's really nothing serious. So there's no particular topic. There's no particular thing. But I am going to discuss a few things that I've been thinking about. And of course, the link has been pinned. Should anyone feel free to join the panel, and then we can just chew the fat. Okay. Let me just make this perfectly clear that if this is your first time here and you've never been on the panel or on the chat, I will request that you come up in the backstage. Okay. And the reason why is that I want to make sure that no one does anything stupid like show any genitalia, which will cause the people YouTube to take down the stream. Good evening, Don Armando. Thank you very much for stopping by. So what I did was I prepared some notes because I have a couple of things which I'm going to be talking about. Okay. Now, the first thing that's going to be on the agenda is Trump versus Biden. Okay. Barring anything on the ordinary, barring the fact that Donald Trump may be convicted and actually have to serve prison time, it's going to be a repeat of 2020. Okay, which is okay. Basically, it's going to be on the one hand, you have an 80-year-old man that seems to be senile, plus a near 80-year-old man that has an equal the size of Texas and Alaska combined. And to be perfectly honest, I am not happy with either one of the two. Okay. Now I know that there's some people who are Trump supporters, and that's fine. I mean, if you're going to support Trump, I mean, I think the very least you should know who he is and what and not blindly follow him and be part of the mega sheep cult. Okay, yes, I'm not too crazy about Donald Trump. I particularly the way that he handled the COVID-19 health crisis or pandemic or epidemic or whatever the fluff you want. Yeah. Look, it is unfortunate. Okay, it is unfortunate that our choices is basically an 80-year-old man and a near 80-year-old boy. Okay. Now, I have said this on numerous occasions, and I'm going to repeat myself again. No one over 60 years old should be running in politics. Okay. I mean, particularly when you think about Biden, I mean, he's been in politics ever since I was a kid. And I'm 61 years old. Okay. Let me tell you something. When you're 80, you should be thinking about the last years of your life, thinking about, okay, what can I do to make my last years peaceful and stress-free? So why is Joe Biden trying to get himself reelected? I mean, I don't got anything personally against Joe Biden. I think in some ways he means well, but no. When I think about the person that's supposed to be the commander in chief, to me that's to be someone that exudes leadership, that exudes skills and talents, and can provide effective leadership. Joe Biden does not come across that way. Okay. And I'm not happy with Donald Trump either. Okay, first of all, when you have a person that makes Richard Nixon almost like a choir boy, that's not a good thing. Now I know there's a lot of people who feel that the 91 accusation or charges levied against him is political theater. It's a vendetta to prevent him from becoming president or whatever. But the fact of the matter is this: while Donald Trump, have done some things that are positive for this country, at least in theory, trying to get us to think about us first for a change. The fact of the matter is, he mishandled the COVID-19 crisis big time. First of all, he denied that the crisis exists, number one. But before he did that, there were certain things that the previous administration put in place to help us prepare for this health crisis, which Donald Trump dismantled for whatever fluff reason. Okay. Another issue that I have with Donald Trump is okay, he wanted to do away with the Affordable Care Act. The problem is, if you're going to do away with that, you need to come up with something viable in its place. Good evening, Irby. Uh, okay, you know what? I'm 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 just trying to I'm just trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, he didn't do a lot of things positive. I mean, when you think about his tax reform, whatever, that supposedly put more money in our pockets. Uh, I don't know. It all depends. It all depends what was your tax situation. Excuse me. So, but the fact of the matter is this: he will go down in his history as the only person that faced impeachment twice. When we think of, okay, yeah, let me tell you something. That's another problem. Okay, look, when I think about the 2000 election, okay, you had Al Gore versus George W. Bush, okay, and that was a very close election, and basically George Bush won because of Florida flipping for him. Uh, if Florida went the other way, then we'll be talking about an Al Gore administration. Okay. Now the difference between Al Gore and there's a lot of things that I disagree with him about is that he was able to be gracious and accept the fact that while it was a very close election, while it was a heated election, that he was able to concede that George W. Bush won. Even though, okay, people can have arguments regarding the electoral college and how it should be based on the popular vote and things of that nature. Let's keep this 100. The last time that Republican candidate actually did better in the popular vote was George W. Bush in 2004. Okay, that was the last time. Of course, you have 2008. You have Barack Obama who won, and then 2012 he won re-election, and then you had Donald Trump who lost on the popular vote but won on the electoral college, and then you have 2020 where Joe Biden won both on the popular vote and the electoral college, and then the whole situation of trying to remain in power when he was not able to do so. And the denial regarding, and even to this day, he's not able to reach the conclusion that Joe Biden won. Okay. Was it a very contested election? Yes. But the thing is this: after you have an election, you at least give the person who is in power an opportunity to do whatever it is they want to do, and then if you disagree, you can vote for the other candidate in the next election. Uh, Donald Trump never did that. I mean, even to this day, he has not conceded that Joe Biden won. Okay. Now, of course, one thing what people will say, well, vote for a third party candidate. Okay. The problem with that is this. In order for a third party candidate to be successful, either you have to have like a huge amount of money or a huge support base. Okay. The fact of the matter is most third party candidates have not been successful um, to be a serious threat. And in fact, only twice in our history where third party candidates have done well. Now, what I'm going to do is just give me a moment. Okay. Good. Excuse me. I'm going to show you, I'm going to share something. Okay. Okay, just give me a moment. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the 1912 election. Good evening, Georgia. Thank you very much for stopping by. Tonight's topic is this. Okay, cool. I'll be looking forward to it. Okay, I'll be looking forward to it. Now, what's unique about what unique about the election of 1912 is that you had a split in the Republican Party between President Taft and Theodore Roosevelt. Okay. Now, that was a very odd election. Just to give you a little background, actually, it was Theodore Roosevelt that actually got more delegates to the convention. However, the powers that be decided to have Howard Taft as their Republican candidate. Well, that upset the supporters of Theodore Roosevelt so much that they broke away and they formed their own party known as the Moose Party. Okay, now that was the first time where a third party candidate got more electoral votes than one of the major parties. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, or better, try to share my screen. Okay. So I'm just going to show you. Okay. All right. Here it is. Okay. Now let me just highlight this map. Okay, this is the election results of 1912. Let me just give you an idea. Now, the states that are blue were states that won by Woodrow Wilson. The states, as you can see here, it was a landslide. Okay. And the states that are red, which are two, which are Utah, and it looks like Vermont or New Hampshire. I'm not sure. Okay. Now you see these states that are like gold. Those are states that were won by Theodore Roosevelt. Okay. Now this is the first time where a third party actually did better than one of the two major parties. Okay. But the difference was that they had a candidate which attracted large an audience and had a huge following. Okay. So as you can see here, he won California, Washington, South Dakota, Minnesota, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Okay. And let me just start sharing here. I'm going to show you something else. Now, just give me a moment. Yeah. Actually, Irby, I'm making a point here. Yes, you know what I mean, he was a racist, you know, it's just that, what can I say? I mean, we have some racist people occupy the White House. I understand that. But I'm just trying to illustrate a point. I mean, I'm not pro Woodrow Wilson. I'm trying to illustrate a point. So now I'm going to share something else now. And actually, the point I'm making is it's not too many times in our history where a third party candidate does better than one of the two parties. Okay. Now here is the electoral results for 1912. As you can see here, okay, the reason why I'm not talking about 1984 because I'm talking about elections where a third party actually gained electoral votes. Okay. So as you can see here, Woodrow Wilson gained 435 electoral votes. Theodore Roosevelt, who represented the Progressive Party or the Bill Moose Party, got 88 electoral votes. And Howard Taft, who was the president of the United States, got 8. Think about it. Talking about butt kicking, okay? This is one of the worst performances that a major party have ever had. Okay. So, and again, the difference is, excuse me just one moment. And again, the difference is that this is it was a rare situation where a third party was able to get someone as its standard bearer, who a lot of people can support and can vote for. So that's an example. Okay. Now I'm going to give you another example. Okay. We're going to go to the 1968 election. Now, why am I bringing out 1968? Because that was the last time that a third party received a significant number of electoral votes. Okay. And by the way, the link to join the panel has been pinned. Have anyone wishes to join and just express their point of view. This is not meant to be a history lesson, but I'm just trying to illustrate a point. And that point is, it's not too many times in our history where third-party candidates have done well when it comes to running, being a candidate. And that was 50-something years ago. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share again. Okay, just give me a moment. Sometimes it takes a while. Okay. Now this is the election result for 1968. This was the last time that a third party candidate received a somewhat substantial amount of electoral votes. Okay, so let me just do this. So you have the Republican candidate, Richard Nixon. You have the Democratic candidate, Hubert Humphrey, who was the vice president, wanted to become president. Now, Lyndon Johnson tried to win his reelection in 1968. However, things got so bad for him that he withdrew. And then this third person, George Wallace, who was a segregationist and a racist, actually gained 46 electoral votes. Okay. Of course, this was 1968, where this country was in the middle of the Vietnam War. A lot of people was getting sick and tired of what's going on. It's been going on for several years with no end in sight. People were, protesting, and they felt that we should not have gone to Vietnam, and we should withdraw our troops, or whatever. So that was a major issue of which the Democratic Party could not deal with. Okay. Because first of all, it was under Kennedy that we got involved in Vietnam, and then Lyndon Johnson continued the war effort. And then it cost the Democratic Party big time. So as you can see here, Richard Nixon gained 301 electoral votes. Hubert Humphrey gained 191 electoral votes, and George Wallace, the segregationist, 46. In order to be president, you have to have 270 or more. Okay. And then this is, I don't know how to make this bigger, but this is the map to show how each state went. The states that are in red went for Richard Nixon. The states that are in blue went for Hubert Humphrey. And these states here went for George Wallace. So I'm just going to stop sharing. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I going through all this? The reason why I'm going through all this is to illustrate that today, for a third-party candidate to be viable, there are many obstacles. First of all, there's the obstacle of getting of fundraising, because you have to be on the ballot on all 50 states. Number one. And then there's the issue where to be able to participate in the debates, which has been restricted only to the two major parties. Well, let me tell you something. Until Donald Trump came along, Richard Nixon, or Tricky Dicky, some people call him, he was like one of the most corrupt men to occupy the White House. Now, I know that the people who think that Donald Trump is the greatest thing since sliced bread, I'm sorry, I don't have that belief. You are more than welcome to it. But it's just that the whole point I'm trying to illustrate, that it was easier for third-party candidates to be taken seriously. Nowadays, it's very hard. Okay, and it's done because of the two-party system, which is why we're stuck with an 80-year-old man and a near 80-year-old boy. Now, the next question that I'm sure people have been asking about: would Trump be convicted? I have a feeling when everything's said and done, it's going to be very hard for anyone to escape a conviction 91 times. Am I saying that he's guilty? Um, the fact of the matter is, everyone, and I repeat, everyone is innocent until proven guilty, including Donald Trump. So time will tell whether or not he is guilty. Okay. Which leads me to another question. Will Donald Trump serve prison time? I don't think so. Okay. First of all, the reason why, because look, the fact of the matter is, um, never in our U.S. history where we had to like put a man who occupied the White House in jail because of some alleged criminal activity. Okay. I don't, you know what? I don't think he's going to go to jail. I think the worst, I think what's going to happen is they'll probably put him under house arrest for a certain amount of time. But going to jail, no. I sincerely doubt it. And the fact of the matter is, for the rest of his life, he's going to have a pension and he's going to have the benefit of Secret Service protection. Okay. I don't see Donald Trump serving time in prison and then the Secret Service coming in to make sure that no one tried to attack Donald Trump. Okay. I mean, there's no way they could have put him in the general population. I mean, I do not see. Okay, I do not see that happening. Would he have to pay fines? Yes, he will. I think most likely what's going to happen is he's going to be placed under house arrest. But going to prison, no, I do not see that. And never release. It would be interesting to see what happens regarding Donald Trump. Okay. And of course, there is some talk regarding who is going to be his running mate. Okay. Now, there is some speculation that one of Donald Trump's sons might be his running mate, which it sounds weird, but at this point, anything's possible. No one thought that Donald Trump would actually run and become president of the United States for 4 years. So having one of his sons be his VP, I mean, it's possible, and particularly in light of the fact that he can only be president for 2 terms. Okay, unless he somehow managed to get that rule abolished that he can serve multiple terms. I don't see that happening. So time will tell what happens. But I don't think he's going to serve time. It'll be interesting to see who is his running mate. And one concern that I'm gonna have is that a lot of people might just get so bothered with the whole prospect of choosing between Joe Biden and Donald Trump that a lot of people may not decide to vote at all, which is not a good thing because basically what you're doing, you're guaranteeing that the person that you don't want win will win. Okay. I know, but you know what? Based on the actions of our House and Senate, that's not going to happen. Okay. Particularly in the House, when they've been spending their time trying to impeach Joe Biden and get into these culture wars. How about actually creating legislation to help its constituents? What about actually legislation that reforms the um, immigration situation that we're dealing with? Or better yet, how about dealing with the migrants? Instead of just shipping it all over the country, I mean, how about trying to deal with them? So, which leads me to my next question. Will we ever return to a state when everything was normal? Okay. If we're talking if we're talking about why things were prior to 2020, no. Okay. I think what's going to happen is this COVID-19 is going to stay. Hopefully, it'll get to the point where it won't affect us as much. It'll just be basically, get to the point where or be is that you take a couple of days off of work because you're sick. Okay. But the fact of the matter is, so many people had died because of COVID-19. Part of it because of stupidity. And part of it because you have people who their health has been compromised. Let's see here. Look, I'll be perfectly, and I know people are going to disagree, but what have the Republicans done other than basically try to get rid of Joe Biden? Really? The Republicans have not done anything. Anything. But the crazy part is the same knuckleheads are going to vote for these people, and they're going to go back to Congress, and they're going to have another 2 to 6 years of doing nothing. I mean, it's sad. I wish I can say something more positive, but that's the situation we're in. But as far okay, I think what we have to do is we're going to have to redefine what is normal. And my definition of normal is learn to adjust with how things are. Make sure that you take care of your health, which means eat properly, get your exercise, see your physician for regular checkups and things of that nature. That's gotta be the new normal. Now, will we ever get to the point when we're going to have viable third-party candidates? I wish I can say yes, but under this current circumstances, no. Because the two major parties will never allow it, because heaven forbid that the citizens actually have a different option other than the Democrats or the Republicans. The major parties will not stand for it. Okay. Now the next thing I want to talk about is John McCain. Now, why John McCain? Okay. In my opinion, John McCain was part of a dying breed. First of all, he was an American that actually served his country during Vietnam. Okay. He was wounded. He was captured. He could have been set free, but he didn't, because he wanted to make sure that if he got set free, that all the other prisoners set free. He was a man of integrity. Okay. And a perfect example. Okay, actually, I think what we need is young people, period. Young people, period. Whether it be left-leaning or right-leaning. Okay. Now, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. No one over 60 years old should be running for political office. And I'm 61, which means that excludes me. And the reason why is unfortunately when you are 60 years old, 7 years old, 80 years old, and all you know is how to be a representative in the House or the Senate for 40, 50 years, okay? And in the case of Joe Biden, he's been in politics ever since I was a kid, and I'm 61 years old. Okay. And the reality is this: if we're ever gonna have new ideas or fresh ideas, we're gonna have to pass the baton to the youth and give it an opportunity to try and screw up. Okay. But unfortunately, we fear change, which is why you have people that blindly support either the Democrats or the Republicans. Okay. So I don't see a viable third party happening anytime soon. Now, one thing that I admire regarding John McCain is that I remember in one rally that he had, two of his supporters were speaking ill with Barack Obama. And actually, John McCain did something that I have not, that candidates don't do anymore. And I see here we have a guest. So before I continue, let me just state for the record that the views of those who appear on the panel are not necessarily those of the host on the channel. Any attempt to copy the material without the consent of the host is prohibited. By appearing on the call, you waive your rights to your image. Some of the views that people on the call may be considered offensive to some viewers. If you do not like the channel, you can contact you about the channel. And now we're going to bring in. Good evening, Ramon.
Good evening, Don Jose. What's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you. I'm just having something a little bit different, which is the topic is in my words. So basically, I'm just shooting the breeze, expressing some thoughts that I have regarding a whole bunch of stuff. So lately, so the last few minutes, I've been talking about politics and the fact that looks like it's going to be a repeat of 2020.
But at least when it comes to who's gonna be on the election ballots, we're gonna see what happens. It's looking very much like that. I don't know if Biden is gonna keep Kamala as the running mate. Most likely, that will be my guess. I don't know who's gonna be running for VP for Trump. I don't think he's even thinking about that. I mean, he's too centered on himself to think about that part. He's supposed to have a running mate. So we'll see what happens when it comes to that.
Well, there's been some talk that he might ask one of his adult sons be his running mate.
Would that even be allowed? That seems like nepotism. I don't think that will work out too well. I don't think so.
Well, remember, we're talking about Donald Trump. He's not exactly the sharpest knife in the drawer. But I think as long as they have the age, he might consider it.
Well, I don't know how old this is Don Jr. But I don't know. It will be blatant nepotism if that were to happen. Will they try it? Maybe. Maybe they could try it. It's just that I don't see it. I don't see that working out too well.
Yeah. Oh, you missed that Denise was in the chat earlier tonight.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I was involved with something else, so it's only been in the last few minutes that I have been seeing your um yeah when I caught your stream. So I just wanted to come by, give you a little shout out, a little bit of support. I mean,
I
but
appreciate it. I
yeah, yeah,
appreciate
yeah. Oh no, definitely, definitely. The
it.
showing respect to our elder.
Yeah. Of course, we know that this has been a very disappointing winter. We have not had one cold day this year, and it's been
Okay,
disappointing.
I'm gonna take my leave because I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into that with you. I know, I know. I'm actually glad. I'm actually glad because today it was 80 degrees in the afternoon. When I came out of work, that nice warm sun hitting me in the face felt so good.
Well, right now here in New York, we're having a spring like 28 degrees.
Okay, well that's too cold. That's too cold. That's what I like about down here. Thankfully, because it's already kind of like the end of February, then things are gonna be getting a little bit more and more back to normal, which means warm weather.
Well,
So the yeah, yeah, yeah. But nah. Don't talk to me about no cold. I'm ready. I'm ready to move away from that.
well, anyway. Um, it's just that tonight I'm doing something a little different because usually, like once in a while, I'll do like a short stream regarding my work. So I decided, what? Let me just devote a whole stream, and basically, I've been chewing the fat regarding a lot of it has to do with politics. And one thing, I wish we had a viable third party option.
Yeah, yeah, but the Green Party, a Green Party candidate that's mostly symbolic because we know that that's not really gonna go anywhere. And sometimes a third party candidate might have some good ideas, and they might actually have a different perspective, which is something that is sorely needed in this country's politics. But they just don't. It just doesn't go anywhere because the system is rigged for it to be a two
Yeah.
party dictatorship. I mean, and yeah, there should be more options. There should be more options. Other countries around the world have several different parties, and they duke it out. And
Yeah.
and it's really the best one. It's really the better party, the one that succeeds. But here is rigged. You can only have two.
Yeah. Well, actually, the last time that a third party candidate got a decent number of electoral votes was the election of 1968, where George Wallace, who was a segregationist and a racist, got 46
Mhm.
electoral votes.
Mm. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. I remember. I've heard about him. I've heard about him. He had a reputation. Oh, he was
Yeah.
from another time, another era.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, he represented an a part of America's past that was very ugly.
Well, yeah, but was he a Republican? Because there is always that denial that the only racists the Republicans like to say that the only racists are the Democrats. So I mean,
Okay.
it's a big projection. Hmm.
Well, actually, he was at one time a registered Democrat, but he
Hmm.
was like one of those Democrats that believe in segregation.
Oh, okay, okay,
Okay.
yeah, but it
Now,
was the Southern Democrats that were
yes.
yeah the ones that I understand them may have flipped.
Yeah.
Well,
Now,
hell, I mean,
yeah.
um, Johnson Johnson was also a Democrat, and okay, yes, he did sign into law the Civil Rights Act, but there are recordings as to what his views on race were. Mhm.
Well, I think part of the reason why is that unfortunately when Kennedy was assassinated, so basically they want to make sure that at least some of Kennedy's legacy survive, which is what
Mhm.
led him to support such things, actions that he took. But let's us make it perfectly clear. Unfortunately, in this country, we have racist. Several people occupy the White House that was racist. I mean, I
Mhm.
mean, Woodrow Wilson was a racist. He actually showed the movie Birth of a Nation in the White House.
Okay, was he the president around the year 1913?
Yes.
Okay, well, Woodrow Wilson was a traitor. He betrayed the country, period, because he while Congress was in recess during the holidays, he made an executive decision that created the IRS. I mean, that's a traitor. That's a traitor. That's somebody that should have been in prison,
Wow.
because that was via executive order that he passed the piece of legislation that allowed for the creation of the IRS. Before 1913, there was no IRS. I mean, there were, as it is allowed in the Constitution, there were the direct taxes and indirect taxes, which is what the Constitution mentions. But the whole thing about the IRS, that's something that was added later on by an amendment, an executive decision. I mean, I will have to look which amendment it was that said that everything could be taxed. But that
Yeah.
Woodrow Wilson, he was a traitor. He was a traitor. He should have gone to prison, because the Congress didn't want that. That was a stroke of the pen that allowed it.
Wow. Now I don't know if you're familiar with the presidential election of 1912, but
Hmm.
this was the first time that a third party candidate actually did better than one of the two major parties.
Hmm.
Okay, so you had Howard Taft, who was running for re-election. You had
Hmm.
Woodrow Wilson, who was running as the Democratic standard bearer, and then you have Theodore Roosevelt, who broke away from the Republican Party to form the
Hmm.
Progressive Party. Okay, Theodore Roosevelt gained 88 electoral votes. Do you know how many electoral votes Howard Taft gained? 8.
Oh. Hmm. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, well, let me tell you something. There's been a lot of racist people who occupy the White House. It's unfortunate, but that's the reality.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. What everybody's talking about is when they were testing. Um. They were testing a form of birth control. But the thing is that the testing phase of the birth control cost the Puerto Rican women that were that had to take it. It left them sterile. It left them barren, and that was without their consent, because they were being used as guinea pigs. So
yeah, yeah, sad but true. So, now let me ask you a question. Do you think Donald Trump is going to serve any prison time?
there is a possibility that he won't. Maybe he should. If he's convicted of anything criminal, if he's convicted of anything criminal, then he should be going to a cozy federal jail cell. Um, but is it gonna happen? Is it actually gonna happen? I mean, we're living in a time where many precedents are being set, things that haven't happened before. So maybe that's something that it may not have happened before, that should happen because Nixon was somebody who betrayed the country. He betrayed the country. He should have been in prison, but it didn't happen. I mean, he was allowed to quit the presidency, as you know, and didn't go to jail. I mean,
No.
but we're living in a time where things are happening that have never happened before. Maybe that should be something that sets another precedent. I mean, like for example, who recently who would think that somebody could be so salty that will shoot up a Super Bowl parade? That has never happened before. You see what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
there are certain precedents that are being set, like on January 6th. Who would think that that some people will be so salty about a transition of power that they will storm the Capitol building? Has that ever happened before? I don't think that has happened before. Well, by the same token, maybe a certain former president should go to jail. Maybe he should.
You know what I think is going to happen? If Donald Trump is guilty, found convicted, I don't think they'll put it on a house arrest, but I don't think you'll actually spend time in a prison.
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there. But with all of the cases of all of the things that are piling up against him, he's gonna have to pay for something. I mean, he's already in the hole for hundreds of millions because of the civil cases that he's losing.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going. I don't know what's it gonna be. I don't know what's gonna happen there. So we will see. I know that he's trying to run for president because he has this belief. He has this belief that if he were to become president, that gives him this total immunity, which is not a thing. I mean, there are certain immunities for things that are on the civil level that he could be. I think it is. But something criminal, he could go to jail still. Because that is Article 2. Article 2 of the Constitution does say something about certain about immunity to a certain extent, but for something criminal, I don't know.
Okay. Like I said, in my personal opinion, I think if anything, they're putting it under house arrest and keep Mar-a-Lago, whatever the fluff his name is. Because could you imagine? Because remember, he's entitled to Secret Service protection for the rest of his life. I mean, could you imagine him going to prison and then you are part of his Secret Service detail and you got to protect this man? Because if he goes prison time, they're not going to put him in the general population.
No, I know they won't. But when it comes to the Secret Service protection, I guess if he's gonna be on house arrest, that is gonna be he's gonna be guarded. But I don't think it's gonna be by the Secret Service. That's gonna be substituted by I don't know some type of federal authority like the marshals. Something like that, but I don't think it's going to be the Secret Service. They're going to be guarding a convict. I think that it's going to be supplanted. That's going to be substituted by another entity. Again, we're dealing with something that has never happened before, so we don't know how they're going to proceed in that.
I disagree because as long as the people who occupy the White House, they're going to get Secret Service protection for the rest of their lives. Okay. But, and you know who we got to thank for that? Barack Obama.
Okay.
Because he made it possible for things like that to happen. Okay. But I'm sure Barack Obama did not envision someone actually being convicted of crimes and then being sent to prison, because that, I mean, that never happened. I mean, he makes Richard Nixon something look like a choir boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So we got a couple more things. When you think this migrant crisis is going to end?
What crisis?
The,
The
the
migrant crisis.
migrant crisis.
Oh, okay. No, a lot of these people are gonna get deported soon. Mark my words. You are in New York. A lot of you, little by little, some of these people, you're not gonna see them again. There is gonna be some type of movement. They're gonna be sent somewhere else.
Mhm.
Because many of them are gonna be deported. Some of them are gonna ask to be deported. I mean, many of them, they can't stand that cold that they're dealing with. They're not used to it. So many of them are gonna go back on their own, or maybe they're gonna go back to another part of the. They're gonna go back to another part of the country where maybe they're gonna be able to work undocumented. I mean, where there are um, what that is agriculture. Wherever there is agriculture, hands are gonna be needed to pick up the stuff out of the ground, or whatever it is, and pick up things out of the ground. And it's the kind of work, back-breaking work that citizens are not doing. They're not doing. That's not being talked about. It's true in Florida. It's true in Alabama. I think in Georgia it's true too. California, all of these places where they have put protections and they have passed rulings that prohibit undocumented people from working in the fields or working in construction. They have to revert. They have to revert because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's not just maybe because the um the people with the business that run the business are underpaying, but it's also because citizens, they don't want to do it. They don't want to do the work, and sometimes they're even paying decent, but they're still not going to do it because they think that that kind of work is beneath them for
Yeah.
many citizens. So I'm not too worried about that. And when it comes to the whole the deportation thing, I still find it quite curious that um, many of the people that were caught in Texas at the Texas border, but instead of just turning them back right there at the border, no, they wanted to send them somewhere else, which is more expensive. It doesn't make a lot of sense. There has to be something. There is something about bossing people all over the country that we don't know about, because they could have just been, they could have turned back. They could have been turned back, and there was a border deal that Alejandro Mayorkas actually struck with the Mexican president, and it was the Republicans. It was the Republicans that struck the deal down. They didn't want a border deal that would actually have helped secure the border. It was the Republicans that didn't want that. So because they wanted to be able to campaign on that. They wanted the problem to remain so that they could campaign on it. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
if you look it up,
Believe me.
look up Alejandro Mayorkas. Alejandro Mayorkas meeting with the Mexican president about the border, making the border deal. You can look that up. I mean, a deal could have been struck, but it was the Republicans that didn't want it. so so they could campaign on it. So and I was seeing some videos. I will have to get the context right, really get what they were saying. But they were, and because of the announcement by the governor here in Texas that there was this avalanche of people invading Texas and all of that, um, supposedly there were Texans that went to the border to see these caravans that Abbott was talking about, and they didn't see any caravans. Because a lot of the migration is also seasonal. I mean, with the holidays, there is an uptake in the migration, And when spring comes around, there is another uptake in the migration. I mean, it does go down. It's not this constant flow. There are times of the year where the migration is actually low. According to Texans, I'm hearing this from certain Texans that are more level-headed and they're not going with the narrative that there is an avalanche, that there is this big invasion of people.
Okay. Speaking about
So,
invasion, would you pay $400 to buy Trump's shoes?
fuck, hell no. Those sneakers cost about $18 to make. Definitely not paying $3.99.
Okay. Let me hit you with this question. If you had the choice to wear the Trump sneakers
Uh-huh.
or go to Orchard Beach and swim in the ocean
That's the
in the
thing.
summertime,
No, no,
or go to Times Square on New Year's Eve to watch the ball drop in shorts, which one of the three would you do?
none of the above.
But you have
None
to
of the
pick
above.
one.
No thanks. No, I'm not. I'm not wearing those things. I'm
So
not
the
wearing.
other option is either go to Orchard Beach in the summertime, swim in the ocean, swim in the water.
I'll go to Orchard Beach and look at the water, but I'm not getting in there. Let me have that option. I'll
Okay.
go to
Well,
Orchard Beach. I'll go to Orchard Beach and I'll just look at the water. I'm not even putting my pinky toe. I'm not touching touching that water with my big toe. No.
or you can go to Times Square and watch the ball drop on New Year's Eve in shorts.
I'll get hypothermia. I mean, I won't be able to feel my family jewels because they'll freeze. No.
Think about it. And then after that, you get hugged and kissed by a whole bunch of strangers.
No, no. I mean, germs. I have to I have to take care about that. Bunch of strangers? No, it's not safe to do that.
Or you can go to Orchard Beach and swim in the water.
Mm. I'll you really want me to touch that water? I'll lose a foot or something.
Okay.
I'll get
I
typhoid.
I wouldn't recommend it that you drink from it though.
I don't want to touch that water. If I were to touch that water with my big toe, I'll lose the big toe.
No.
I don't want to lose my big toe touching that water.
Think about it. We have Orchard Beach, we have Coney Island, we have Brighton Beach, we have Reese Beach. With some beautiful beaches over here in New York.
No thanks. Ay.
Oh boy! Wow. I gotta needle you a little bit.
I'm not gonna do what?
I gotta needle you a little bit.
No.
But you know what? I think there's going to be at some point this crisis, migrant crisis, is going to end, but I don't think it's anytime soon.
Maybe not for the moment. That's right. Maybe not for the moment, but little by little, you are gonna stop seeing them. You're gonna stop seeing them, especially if, let's say, there is a re-election and Biden gets back in. A lot of the migrants they're gonna be gone. I assure you.
Yeah. Well, if I was to become president, you know what would be my motto?
Mm-hmm.
Let's make America cold again.
Okay. No.
You don't like it?
Hell no.
it's great. I mean, it's a beautiful saying. Make America cold again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Let
yeah,
us embrace. Let us embrace the joy of winter.
yeah. Sure, sure.
Let us embrace lying down on the ground and making snow angels, or having snowball fights, or skiing, or ice skating. You can't do that in the summertime.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, but while you're here, I'm sure a lot of people know about your channel. But if you want to talk about your channel, by all means, go ahead.
Well, I mean, last night I did a bit of a live stream that you were a participant of, and that was good. I'm looking forward to do the next time. The next one, I just have to pick a subject. Um, I don't know what I'm gonna be talking about, but I hope to be doing something soon. And of course, I don't have a niche, and not yet. I guess I'm gonna have to try and find that. But yeah, I look forward to do more streams, depending on the subject or whatever is relevant at the time. So
Mhm.
yeah, not much else
I
I can
might do
say.
a I might do a stream this Friday regarding Taylor Swift.
Uh, uh, mm, we were talking about her yesterday, and on Morena's stream we were talking about her. I mean, we already talk about her too much.
Are you saying that she's like an attention-seeking rapper?
She's Queen Cloud Chaser. They were just showing her all over the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl, the world was looking a lot of her, seeing her a lot, because they show you a little bit of the game, and then they will show the booth with her in it. They will show a little bit of the game, and then they will show the booth with her in it. I mean, it was like equal parts: game and Taylor Swift, game, Taylor Swift. Like, what the hell?
And then in the end, you see her kissing Travis Kelly.
Kelsey.
Kelsey,
Mhm.
I'm saying, yeah.
At the end, at the end of the game, making sure that all of the cameras were on them. They become more important than the game itself.
Well, I'm gonna have a topic on Friday. What I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna talk about, I don't know, but I'll come up with something.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, anything else that's on your mind?
For the moment, I guess that will be it. And definitely, I'm thankful that you allow me to be on your panel. And for the moment, that's all. That's it. That's all. That's all I got.
Oh, before you leave, I gotta do this.
What?
Okay, now we're gonna have
Don't talk about the cold.
now we're gonna have final words from the person that think we don't have a rat problem in New York, who think
Oh, really?
Orchard Beach is the most beautiful beach in the world, that it's more beautiful than the beaches of Puerto Rico,
Hmm.
that Orchard Beach is the French Riviera of the Bronx. Okay, who thinks that the best thing to do is to go to Times Square to watch the ball drop for hours and hours and hours. Who has a desire to experience Parkchester.
Hey, how you doing?
Good evening, Don Armando. The introvert Boricua.
Yeah.
What's on your mind? What's on your mind, Don Armando?
Hey,
I'm
Armando.
chilling. I'm chilling and everything. How you doing, introvert Boricua?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm all right. You know, I would have been to your live stream, but you know, there's somebody that I don't that you know that was responsible for my doxing, and you know, I'll have the uncontrollable words to him, just that person. So you know how that goes. Yeah. But
I
other than
got
that, you know, but other than that, I'm good. How you doing, Herbie?
So basically, basically the whole stream was just basically me talking what's on my mind. A lot of it had to do with politics and
Yeah.
regarding, Trump and Biden and what have you, and the fact that we don't have a viable third party candidate system over here, which means we got to pick between the Democrat and the Republican, which is basically um, two sides of the same coin.
I mean, if you actually look at it, right? I mean, there's a lot of races between those two
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. I have to go and mute myself a little bit because they blasted music. So
Okay. So anyway, but as always, Ramon, it's always a pleasure to see you on the platform. I do miss some of the other people like Denise and Rad, but they have lives. They have lives. They have
Mhm.
other important things that they take care of because I mean, this is basically a hobby for us.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. It's gonna be get better. I mean, when things warm up, I think it's gonna get better. People are gonna feel more outgoing and wanting to connect with others. With that said, there is something I have to take care of, so I'm gonna be taking my
All right.
leave.
Okay.
Um,
Well, thank you very much.
all right. Thanks for having me. Have a good one, Jose.
All right. Take care. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start to wrap this up. Uh, Now, this was something that I've never done before, which was actually devote a whole stream talking about in my words. So I just wanted to do something different. Okay, let's talk about just a random stream, talk about random topics, things of that nature. So I think I'm gonna be doing this more often. I'll probably do this maybe once a week. I do appreciate all the people that appeared on the chat. Okay. And of course, I appreciate the people that have been on the panel. Okay. I will do a stream Friday, probably 8:30, maybe 9. I don't know. I'll just have to wait and see. Um, Before I go, I did do created a poll. Let's see if I can just on my community tab. So just give me a moment. Okay. Oops, that's not what I want. Just give me a moment. So I'm just going to show you the poll I created on my community tab. Okay. 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 Apparently, this Don Armando has muted himself because there's some music playing in the background. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to share something from my community tab. Just give me a moment.
hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm just showing something that I posted on my community tab, which was a poll. Um, who will be your choice for president? Okay. So as you can see here, it seems like well, it's early because only 3 people have voted, but the majority of people are opting for Donald Trump.
Yeah, me personally, I think I'm not even gonna vote in this some election.
Okay. Um, you of course you are entitled to your point of view. But just be mindful there are other things to consider on the election. I mean, there are, you know, you're represented in the House, and also you have, you know, other local elections. So even if you decide to sit the presidential election out because of the two people that we have, there are other things to consider as far as local elections.
It's like as far as local elections, even though I live in Philadelphia,
Yeah.
I'm not even participating in that either because it's like out here, everybody can say, "Oh yeah, this is good" and everything like that, but it seems that this place is just riddled with negativity. So I'm not just not even if I wanted to vote for a party, they're not even going to get elected because you know Philadelphia is a democratic state, and where I live at, which is like 10 years or 10 or 20 miles not miles away, but I'm just saying like 20 or 30 minutes away is on Kensington. So as soon as the pandemic, nobody before y'all had like they had like 4 years to go and try to clean up Philadelphia, but I just don't see that happening.
Hmm.
So I don't know. If anything, they should shove those migrants to Philadelphia. That way, maybe we won't have to see the devastation of Kensington. But
Yeah.
that's just me talking.
I mean, look. I mean, you can do whatever you wish. I mean, I will never take that away from you. Look. Uh, I'm just not happy with the choice between an 80-year-old man that's been in politics since I was a kid compared to another almost 80-year-old boy in Donald Trump. But that's what it is.
Yeah,
So, so
and to me,
before
it's
you,
funny.
so before, yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And it's funny that you have a lot of Hispano types that want to try to follow his ideology, but yet they want to go and send lewd pics to women and cross dressers. That's all I gotta say. But yet they still want to, but yet they still think in their ideology. I'm saying most of the Hispano types that their likeness to Trump's when the fact is they don't really possess anything that Trump has.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, what can I say? I mean, it is what it is. Before before I put this string to bed, would you like to talk a little bit about your platforms?
Oh yeah. Well, as me, I have like on my own channel, I have a series that I have open. It's called Open Topics, and then I have another series that I'm gonna actually come back with. It's called Historias Urbanas con Don Armando,
Hmm.
where I actually try to talk about the history between the Dominican movement in the Dominican Republic and in New York. So I'm trying to talk about the history of the urban movement, so at least certain people who are listening, they could actually gather on what steps that people made to get them to where they're at right now in 2024.
Hmm. Okay, well, I would encourage everyone to check out your content. So I'm just going to wrap this up. Anything else you wish to add?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy those. I'm gonna buy those ugly sneakers just to make a statement. Yeah,
Well,
that's
if
all
you're
I gotta
gonna
say.
buy those god awful sneakers, you might as well get the mega hat too.
I mean, I would, but I'm the reason why I'm actually doing it is because if I do get those sneakers, I know that the Hispanic types that don't like me, they can't afford it. So that's what I'm saying.
Well,
The but hey, I'm a MAGA supporter. I'm a MAGA supporter. I support Trump. So how come you ain't got those sneakers? I do. That be like the biggest this.
it'll be
I'm like,
funny
yo,
if
where's your
some.
sneakers? I'll be like, where's your sneakers?
But you know what would be funny if some of those people actually tried to wear those sneakers in the Dominican Day parade.
Oh yeah, that'll be. I know who's gonna wear that regardless. It'll be funny. And then and then on top of it, they'll be like, okay, they'll be wearing that. They'll be like, hey, put on Trump. I'm like, yeah. I mean, okay, now it's like in the Dominican parade, you got people with 50-50, people who don't really care about politics. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, I point out Trump, but they was like, why? Because he gave me free money. I was like, okay, whatever.
First of all, there's no such thing as free money because someone had to pay for it. And I'm assuming that they're talking about those stimulus checks.
Exactly. That's what they're saying. Like, Papi, give me Trump, give me free money. Papi Trump. I'm like, all right, cool.
I mean, come on, we're talking about $1,400 one time and then $600 another time, please.
I'm like, me personally is this, right? If anybody wants to go around and live in a state with free money, you know where you can live at, right? The only thing is though, you just gotta go around and kill your own fish.
Well, in any
I'm I'm
case,
I'm I'm saying Alaska, Don Jose, because if you really look at it, every year what the whole United States, right? Well, the whole 49, how they call us, right? Well, we got
yeah.
those stimulus checks. They get it all paid every year. You- from not only from their taxes, but like from oil revenue from Alaska. Even the person who is the most poorest in Alaska will get paid.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? On that note, I think I'll end it. First of all, thank you, Don Armando, for hopping on the panel. And
Anytime.
all right, so we'll see each other soon.
All
I
right.
might I might go to Philadelphia maybe for the Memorial Day weekend. I'll let you know if that's the case.
All right.
So thank
All
you very
right.
much for stopping by.
I'll introduce you to my wife as well.
I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So like I said before, I mean this is basically an opportunity just for me to just to do a chill string and just talk about what's on my mind. So I will be doing another string on Friday, 8:30. What would be the topic? I don't know. But I will know by then. And and of course all of you are more than welcome to enter your comments after the stream is over. Just make sure to try to keep it respectable because if not, it will be deleted or blocked. Okay. It is that simple. So I just want to say thank you very much for stopping by. Thank you very much for catching it either live or on the playback. And of course, I'm going to close the same way that I always close. We must do everything possible to eliminate the influences of the mentally and intellectually challenged because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by their stupidity and massive insanity. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron saying good night, take care, and peace.